You've probably lost the weight more than once, and now you're back here watching another YouTube video on how to lose weight. Before we get into this, you need to understand that you aren't doing something inherently wrong. It's just you've never had a system that's designed to fit your real life, and as a result of this, you're probably spiraling all the time. And my goal for you by the end of this video is to figure out how to break free from these habits and understand them so that you never fall back into the trap. Hi, my name's Ethan. I've lost over 40 pounds and I've managed to keep it off. But first, I need to show you exactly what's going on inside of your body so that you have a better understanding as we progress through this video. To paint this clearly, this is Jeff, okay? Jeff has a white-collar job and he has a wife and he has little kids to take care of. Thing is Jeff wants to lose around 40 pounds, okay? The problem is that Jeff has been trying everything. He's tried keto, fasting, you get the gist, right? But the problem is that every single time Jeff tries fasting, keto, and all these fad diets, he starts to realize that he gets more tired. And the reason is because Jeff has had nothing kind of set in place for his life, making it tremendously hard for him to stay consistent with his goals, right? And so Jeff is constantly stressed. He's got bills to pay. He's got a family to take care of. And on top of that, Jeff is stressed about his job, right? And so all of these things are playing huge factors into why Jeff is, number one, sad all the time, and number two, he's gaining weight. And Jeff 6 months ago lost the majority of his weight. And 6 months ago, this was Jeff playing with his kids out in the field, right? Jeff has had an amazing time with his kids. And this is the trap you're most likely falling into as soon as you start to gain weight. 1, you increase your cardio. 2, you think that you need to cut down your calories, so you're steeply cutting them even more to the point where you're in borderline starvation mode. And the last one is you're trying to speed run your deficit. These are all things that are hurting your fat loss because they're not sustainable. Let me ask you something. Every single night before you go to bed, you brush your teeth, right? It's convenient, it's easy, it is in fact sustainable, right? Because you don't really have to think about it and it doesn't take a lot of effort. What happens when you try to cram your results in such a small time frame, you stress your body out, but at the same time, you don't enjoy anything what you're doing, which is reinventing the neural pathways to go back to the old habits that you previously had. Picture here, we have engine 1. This guy is operating, he's a V8. He is going, he's got 600 to the wheel. Then we have engine 2. We got a Honda Civic here, right? It's a 4-cylinder. And on top of that, he's probably got like 150 horsepower, right? So if we take this concept right now, you see engine 1 here is a V8. It's working a lot harder and it's going to burn out. It's going to have problems faster opposed to something like engine 2 here, which isn't as crazy powerful, but it's reliable. It's going to last you a long time. This engine's lifespan is probably going to get you 150,000 kilometers, let's just say, right? Just for easy numbers, right? This guy is going to get you 400,000 plus kilometers in the duration of its lifespan. And if we apply this concept to your fat loss, what happens is the scale will go down and then boom, you flatline. You hit that plateau. Opposed to engine 2 here, you go down this line, you plateau, but we haven't sunk our battleship right now. We still have more space to move down as we gradually plateau along, meaning there's more sustainability inside your fat loss. And taking this engine concept to after you've lost the weight, you start eating a bunch of food very fast, you are going to gain the weight. You are going to increase your weight, right? Had you just kept it at maintenance, you would be able to sustain your weight. And so what happens when you do keto, fasting, carnivore, and the list goes on, is that they are not sustainable. They will inherently make you gain weight because you don't know how to keep that weight off. And so let me be a little more specific here. You have 2 patients, right? We have patient 1 over here, and then we have patient 2. And we will give him biceps. Okay, we'll give him biceps. They're both 170 pounds. So what we need to understand is patient 2 has more muscle, right? He has more muscle than patient 1 over here. So when you have more muscle inside of your body, you have a higher thermogenic effect, meaning that you're going to burn calories more at rest than the person who's over here, who patient 1 doesn't have a lot of muscle. And by having an increase in muscle mass on your body means that at rest you will burn more calories than someone who might even be actively going to the gym, because muscle mass and protein has a higher thermogenic effect than fats. If you cut your calories way too aggressively, your body will actually start eating away at the muscle instead of the fat. And this is why people crash, why the scale stops moving, you plateau, or you're just constantly hungry all the time. And most people say that, oh, it's just my metabolism's broken. Your metabolism isn't broken, it's just adapted, right? So the same concept applies here if we have a plateau inside of our calorie deficit, right? We come here and then boom, we flatline. We hit our flatline. We're in a stagnant period, right? If we take your metabolism, it ends up adapting to whatever this is. So let's say your old calories was 2,700 kcals per day. Okay, and then you deficit it down to, let's say you went in a 500 calorie deficit. Now you're at 2,200 calories. This is now your new maintenance. This means that your body is at rest sitting here, and this is what it needs to keep itself alive every single day. The most interesting concept is that our bodies are programmed for survival and death. So what this means is that it doesn't care what you were doing. If you were in a calorie deficit, it thinks that you are dying. So it's going to do everything it can to preserve and keep you alive. So when you constantly eat very little, your body down-regulates. The result of this, it starts burning less and getting more efficient with what it already has. And so this is the question I'm sure nobody's really asked you. What exactly is your plan after you start to see these results? Because most people have a plan for losing weight, but they don't have a plan for when they arrive at the destination. And this is where life gets tricky, because you have more decisions, you have stress, you have issues that were unresolved because you only had to follow a specific measurement or a specific plan to get to your desired goal or outcome. And now you're at that arrival fallacy. You don't know what to do next. And so the goal is not to build a number on the scale. The goal is to build something that sticks for your life. And so what actually keeps the weight off? Number 1 is going to be muscle. The more muscle mass you have, the faster your metabolism is, and the better your body is going to be at using the food that you consume as fuel to keep your body composition the way you want it to be. Number 2 is going to be your habits, okay? What are you doing every single day? Are you going out eating every single weekend? Are you making conscious decisions and finding that healthy balance inside of your life? Because ultimately, fat loss and staying healthy does not mean taking away those nights out with your friends or taking away those weekends where you go out and have a family dinner, okay? And number 3 is going to be your identity. You have to start seeing yourself as someone who manages to keep the weight off, as someone who is a healthy individual, who has that self-control, that balance, and doesn't go back to those old impulsive habits that they had before. Because your actions and decisions that you consciously make every day will follow your identity in the long run. And if you go far south, then you are going to constantly live back in the old version of yourself that you just outgrew. I was an anxious kid growing up. I was overweight, people pleasing, and I really just didn't know where I wanted to take my life. I knew I wanted to get in shape, but I just didn't know how to take that first step for myself. And I spent 19 years of my life being in this position of just starting, stopping, and it just deteriorates every facet and part of your life, essentially. And I was able to achieve all of my results while working 60-hour weeks in construction. And to be honest with you, it wasn't that I had a busy schedule. It's because I needed to create systems and an identity for myself that carried inside of my life, despite working night shifts, despite being called in or working overtime or even working double time on the week. Okay, I got a curveball every single week and I still managed to follow through with my goals. And what I had was a decision that I was going to do this the right way, not the fast, easy, cheap, shortcut way that you see on the internet or even the ones you've probably tried before watching this video. I knew that it was going to take time. There was weeks where, yeah, maybe the scale stopped a bit because I had a lot of stress that week, right? There was times where things were difficult, but it didn't stop me from going on this path because I saw the end goal. I saw the version of myself I wanted to become. If you plan on losing the weight again and keeping the weight off, here are the 3 things you need to know moving forward. Number 1 is going to be hitting your protein target. You need to be hitting anywhere between 0.8 to 1 gram per pound in body weight. So if you're a 150 pound female, you are going to be needing 150 grams of protein to keep yourself satiated and build muscle per day. And the problem here is you can't rely on a vague number. You can't rely on looking at a nutritional label. You need to track and know exactly what you're putting in your body or have a damn close idea of what you're doing. Number 2 is going to be obviously a resistance training plan, getting in the gym 3 days a week, anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes, okay? You don't need more than 30 to 45 minutes. That way you establish a quick and easy plan to get in and out that is going to give you that ROI in the long run. Number 3 is going to be a realistic deficit, okay? This is most important. I'm going to say anywhere between 1 to 200 calories per starting off for your first, I'm going to say 4 weeks. This is going to give you data. We do not jump the gun. You don't need 1,000 calorie fast, easy method deficit. You need something small that's going to allow you to enjoy it, not make you hungry and binge out every single night. Like I tell my clients, it's better that you slash away a little bit because you can always take more instead of slashing more and screwing yourself over metabolically. And this is exactly why my clients never bounce back, because we build a plan that they can maintain and adhere to for the rest of their life. Everything is built around their actual life, their actual schedule, so that they can understand how to work with the cards they've got, not trying to fit a shoe that doesn't fit them initially, which is the biggest problem that they've came to me before we started working together. Because I don't believe in failure. I believe in setbacks, which give you data and they allow you to figure out where you're at. The problem is that your situation is not the same as mine, meaning that the reality is incomparable to what you were looking at on social media or even what worked for maybe your friend's friend. And that's exactly what happened with my client Ian, who came to me working 60-hour weeks in a management position. He said he was convinced he didn't have the time. He said that it was just his schedule that he wasn't going to be able to get the macros in. And we made a plan fit, and in 20 weeks, he lost around 48 pounds, and he's still going strong. And he never had a perfect life. He was very much overweight. He was on blood pressure medication. Fast forward to 20 weeks later, and he doesn't have any of those issues anymore because he regulated his health. And now he's able to show up to the job feeling better, show up for his family. And most importantly, he told me that he was fitting into clothes that he hadn't worn or seen in 20 years because they just didn't fit him and he's too insecure to wear them. And the reason why he was able to lose the weight and develop effective and healthy habits was because he never focused on the goal or the outcome. He focused on the version of himself that he's becoming every single day. And if you were in your 20s, 30s, or even 40s and you are looking to lose weight and you're just sick of yo-yo dieting, click the link below, go on my Instagram and DM me the word shift right now, and we will talk and figure out a plan for your situation so that you never have to think about this again.